Going city administrator, and Darren is taking over for Tim. Good morning, Tim. How are you?
Morning, Seth. Did you hear the applause in the background? He's leaving.
I think it was okay. Sure. Yeah. How you feeling about the last time at the Big Red Barn, at least in a professional capacity?
What does it look like and sound like?
You're pretty.
Oh, yeah, I'm pumped.
You're pumped. Sure. Introduce us to Darren there, Tim.
I would like to make sure everyone understands the council went through a fairly extensive process, and Darren was always in the wheels of the process. Took a little longer probably than it should have to get there. But Darren comes with a lot of good background, a lot of good experience, and he comes from similar small communities to larger communities. So it's going to be a good holistic picture.
Sure.
Is what I would say.
Darren, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, where you're from and how you got to Clinton here in this capacity.
Okay, well, originally I'm from Danvers, Illinois, Olympia High School.
Okay,
so that starts way back.
Yeah,
lived in Minear a while. My first job was in the village of Minear, mowing parks.
Okay,
so I've kind of worked my way up from mowing parks to treating water and sewer to building streets to city manager and city administrator over the years.
Yeah.
I've got over 20 years of city administrator experience. My first administrator job was in Farmer City.
DeWitt County, sure.
I was a whole 23 years old, thrown into the fire there, and just grew from there.
Sure. What are some of the stops along the way to Clinton, and what were some of the jobs that you taken
some
on?
of the Highland, Illinois, which is south, down near Edwardsville and Collinsville. After Highland, I got into commercial real estate for about 7 years and development. Wouldn't know how to sell you a house, but I could build you a big building or buy you some land.
There you go.
Yeah. Decided to get back into government after the market wasn't doing so well, and wound up in Pekin as the assistant city manager and then the city manager. After Pekin was East Moline, and then between East Moline and here, it's been a couple interim gigs. One in Joliet, which is population of 150,000, and another was Beloit, Wisconsin. And then that brings me to here.
What was appealing about the Clinton opportunity for you?
Central Illinois, close to home, close to family.
Yeah.
Same retirement. That's my selfish, there.
Yeah.
And it just, I've learned a lot from Tim over the last, I think it's only been 15 days.
Right.
Yeah, they've been long, but
yeah. There's a lot of hands-on compared to larger organizations, and I really enjoy that.
Yeah, in talking with Tim a little bit about the job and things of that nature, it sounds like, the Clinton City Administrator job it may be a bit different from other places. Have you found that to be the case? And what's appealing about that? And, maybe some of those nuances that folks may not realize.
Well, for example, you're pretty much put to task to work the cemetery. That's I've been around cemeteries before with other municipalities, but this is really the first time I've gone out and said, well, this is where you're going to dig.
Right.
So,
yeah. There's a lot of like what Tim does, and again, I go back to a conversation we had a while back about, the city administrator role in Clinton. It's, and Tim, you can speak to this. It's, you're doing a lot of things that, perhaps in other communities fall in other departments. Things come to you that normally a city administrator probably doesn't deal with.
In the scope of things, probably true, but that again is our uniqueness, let's say that way, of how we're put together.
Sure.
Which does make it difficult to go find that replacement at the same time, because we're not the same true marketing of administrators everybody else is.
Right.
And that's part of the learning curve that Darren's going through already, and he will go through for a while, but it's not unachievable.
Sure.
If I mastered it, it can be mastered.
Well, and to that point, Darren, I would venture a guess your experience in all these other areas will lend yourself to a quicker learning curve. Do you think that's fair to say?
I think so. With with very small towns, 1,200 population. Yes. Highland, where I spent 9 years, was about 7,000 when I started, and we were able to grow it to about 10,000 over that time span.
Sure.
So, it's a big organization is a little bit different because it's pretty much top-down management. Here, it's a lot more hands-on. The form of government is unique. There's not very many commission forms of government in Illinois. So that's a little bit of a learning curve for me there with handling the difference between an elected department head and a department head.
Sure. Well, I'll save maybe some of the, the questions about, what you're learning and that sort of thing. I know you've not been on the job long, so maybe we'll save that for our visit in January. But, one thing you're really going to have to get used to, Darren, is these, 10, 15-minute city council meetings. I mean, I know those are just going to be a big bear on Monday nights, but you're just going to have to bear with us. All right. And make it work.
Well, I got a strange feeling he's going to find a way to expand them.
Tim.
Seth, I know how you love them.
Like I said last night, I was considering being nice to you this morning in your last visit with me.
But we know that ain't gonna happen.
No, gentlemen, let's transition to last night's meeting. If that's okay, Darren, did I miss anything about you want us to know? Anything of that nature?
No. My family and I look forward to probably relocating here in the spring, most likely. It's just my wife and I now, 3 grown boys. So
okay. So look forward to them and welcoming them to Clinton. So Darren, we look forward to working with you and talking down the road. Again, that's Darren Girdler. He is the new Clinton City Administrator, joined in studio with us by Tim Followell, who retires next week, Tim. So
next week.
Looking forward to that. Real fast, let's just go through what was another City Council meeting for you, your last, Tim, at the City Council.
Absolutely.
And a couple of things working on. The city is getting a new server, a data server, and improving its cybersecurity.
Yeah, as Clint talked about last night, it and when we say it is 8 years old, that doesn't seem long, but in the world of technology and things like that, that is aged to a point. But the bigger part of it's probably the cybersecurity also. But as he alluded to, we are having storage issues. We've hit limits on it, and there's one, and I'm trying to think the word he called it, that was always having little hiccups. And I don't remember what he called it.
External hard drive?
Well, it was one of the components of the external hard drive.
Okay.
But bottom line is, I mean, we're going to go to iCloud on storage, which is unlimited. You pay for it, but it is unlimited because in today's world and what Clint alluded to, but I don't know whether they got it or not, one external hard drive copy goes out of the building every night, goes home with him. So that way,
for safety
if something
purposes.
happens in the building, we have everything, which is a good, bad way of doing it.
Right.
It's the old school way, but going to the virtual part of it should be better as we're moving forward in the future.
Right. And as he was talking about that, I was thinking, well, you're worried about cyber attacks and you're going to a cloud
oxymoron.
Storage. Yeah. But you're also beefing up that led to the point of you're beefing up your cybersecurity.
Right. And that's key because as he talked about what little bit of cyber coverage we have with our risk management is not a big item. 250,000 is not a big coverage amount, but it's a start.
Sure.
So again, it's part of the process of trying to keep yourself acclimated to the current world events.
Sure. And talking or listening to, again, Commissioner Edmonds provide another positive tax report last night. How about that?
Can't knock it. Still don't fully got to understand it, but a good positive month again.
Very good. So looking forward to hopefully more of those. And it's been good news all the way around as it relates to that.
Well, you do know we'll get to the point of quit calling it a new positive number. It'll become the norm.
It'll just become the norm.
And that's a good thing.
Let's hope for that. Let's hope for that. Absolutely. Tim, anything from last night's meeting stood out to you? Anything of that nature?
Not really. I mean, we had a couple of union contracts, which is just the same old. So no, Commissioner Buchanan did remind people that because of the storm, they are back picking up brush, but it's a short window of that cycle because good or bad, Mother Nature is around the corner. That snow, the bad 4-letter word, is going to happen.
Sure. So we'll look forward to that and get those. I know we had a couple branches fall down in our yard. A lot of people did as well. So get those out in the city. You'll make the rounds and get those picked up for a short time. Like Tim mentioned, what was it like to go through your last meeting last night, Tim?
A pleasure. Actually, it's good and bad, like everything is. As you sit around trying to reflect on some of this, it's all good and bad.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Life adjustment for everybody.
Sure, sure. Well, let's talk about some of the good and the bad that you've experienced in your career when we come back. Again, City Administrator Tim Followell in studio for one final time with us, and introduced us today to Darren Girdler, the new City Administrator for the City of Clinton. More to come with them on the WHOW Morning Show.
Today's morning show can be heard by downloading the free WHOW mobile app in your favorite store.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. My guest in studio again, Tim Followell, City Administrator for the City of Clinton, and he is retiring at the end of next week. And Darren Girdler steps into the administrator role, and he's in studio with us today as well. But Tim, just thoughts on going into retirement. What's going to be ahead for you?
Well, here we go. I'm going to mention competition, but if you take the article out of the Journal back about 2 months ago, 3 months ago, talked about my front porch is calling. That is going to be my view of amusement for many reasons.
What do you need to do with the front porch?
I need to do nothing but park on it when it gets warmer. Okay. And that's what it means by the view from my front porch.
I see.
Some of my neighbors will already tell you that I am the eyes of the neighborhood when things are going on, when packages get dropped off and blah, 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 blah. They don't make that sound to be a nice thing.
So
when
you've got that neighborhood watch sign, in the streets, you're that guy.
It could be that person.
You're watching out for
Some
everybody.
of them would tell you I'm that person.
You're that person.
I think they're wrong, but they'll tell you.
Gotcha. You golf, bowl, you take up hobbies?
Golf a lot more.
Yeah.
Okay, but we still have an in-home daycare. I believe I've been hinted that I may become a bus shuttle person. So I get to experience the drop-off.
I was going to say, so I'm going to see you at school drop-off,
You might, and when I wave, I'm one of them, Seth.
All right, well, just make sure it's the 5-finger wave and not the...
I'm just going to wave,
All
Seth.
right.
It will be a different view than I've ever heard of.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. You're going to have to get used
to that might be my next leg of experience.
All right, you're going to have to get used to the soccer mom crowd, but...
And dads.
And dads, yeah, for sure. But at any rate, Tim, highlights for you from your time in Clinton. Good things that you feel like you've accomplished, the city has accomplished under your tutelage.
And I've been asked this, and I keep telling people, here's the sad part of it. I don't feel any of them. And what I mean by that, when you use the word things you've accomplished, I've never considered it me. the city has accomplished, and they're all accomplishments, no matter what they've been.
Like Illini Drive.
Example,
That was a
or
big one.
given a rest spot for the nursing home to come to, because that was a big thing back in the early 2000s. I heard a lot lately out of a few business people how great of a job it was to get the Walmart location filled.
Yeah.
That was a city job. That had nothing to do with Tim. This is never to be about Tim. I'll let Darren do his own thing, whatever that happens. But it was more about the city. Being a local, being here almost my whole life, it's just about the city. Everyone knows me. My passion is in the cemetery. Started up there, and what people don't know, I probably started there my junior year of high school, mowing grass and cutting weeds out there. When we cut it with scissor weed eaters, not gas powered.
Oh my word!
And you learn what poison ivy is the hard way.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Yeah, bad.
You develop some big forearms too, I'm sure.
You would have thought so, but Popeye left. I don't know about that. But again, it's the holistic view of the community. That's probably the biggest thing I would ever say. And the people being staff also.
Sure.
Interesting characters, but very unique.
Well, I will say this, Tim. I remember my first city council meeting when I took this job. What was that now? 11 some years ago. Coming up on 12 soon. I can't believe that. But you were one of the first people I talked to in the city of Clinton, and I remember coming up to you and introducing myself, and you were just welcoming, one of the most welcoming people I could have started with, and I've always appreciated that. I really have.
It's a two-way street, Seth. You were easy to do it with, but I always have that is your person. So that's why I tell people it's not the city. That is the person. Story of the ladies at City Hall. I always tell them, and especially new hires, first thing you got to realize is you got to become a duck. A duck? Why a duck? A duck was created to let every bit of the stuff roll right off its back, because no matter what they're screaming at you from the other side of the counter, it's not about you. They're upset with something, and let it go. Don't take it personal. And the other pointed duck knows what to do. It knows when to duck and get out of the way and let someone else have it.
Sure.
So the biggest thing is in government, don't let things personally get to you. And that even goes for elected officials. And it's a hard thing to do, especially in today's culture.
Sure. Well, as we talk a little bit here, Tim, this morning, as Darren steps into your position, what are some things that he's going to have to, take up? I think of water tower, and some infrastructure things to make that work.
There's a lot of moving components coming up, but probably at the current moment, his two biggest items I see, one he already alluded to, cemetery, because it is unique. And it's really, I'm going to say, his first venture being that person, not around it, but that person. But it's all about a supporting crew, and there's a good supporting crew. The other part is he's got a couple building projects coming on in the building department category with the new O'Reillys, who's starting right now, and the rebuild of the Assembly of God, which is still in the process of being put together. So he's got a couple big projects he's going to get his teeth cut on pretty quickly, besides all the little stuff. So that's probably the two real unique areas, because the infrastructure with the water tower and that's probably old school compared to what he normally does in the other communities.
Sure.
So that isn't new.
Yeah. From your perspective, Tim, what have some relationships or, things that have stood out to you in your time as city administrator?
I don't know, because try to reflect that over what's now building to be a 45-year career, which is not the norm in any industry anymore. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that one, to be honest with you. You stumped me, Seth.
All right.
I can't really answer.
You're at a loss for words.
It only took you 12 years.
That's the first time I've ever left Tim without a word to say or a quip to come back with. Well, Tim, as you wrap up and head into the retirement, just hanging out and taking the reins on some things at home. Sounds like that's in your future. What are you looking forward to most? I mean, is there, something you want to accomplish next?
No, there's not. I want to see what life's going to bring. Because
Perfect.
again, with the home business still going on,
Mhm.
the difference of a normal, what I'm going to call retirement, is not really happening yet, but see where life brings the next curve.
Awesome. Well, I'll probably be texting you about things here and there.
No, you won't.
You blocking my number?
I don't have. You don't have my number.
Oh, you're getting a new number.
You don't have.
I don't have
my number.
I have your city number then.
You'll have his city number.
Oh man. Now I'm gonna have to find a way to get your number.
Good luck.
All right. No, Tim. Like I said, it's been a pleasure to have you in. I'm gonna miss these visits.
Not a problem. I'm sure the viewing audience, the listening audience, maybe appreciated the rhetoric. Maybe they didn't, but it is us.
It was always fun, Tim, and enjoy retirement. I'll be swinging, stopping by and pestering you from time to time. Tim Followell, City Administrator, joins us, introduced us today to incoming Administrator Darren Girdler. Network News is now.